All right, art friends, we're back here with a fun way to make a polar bear. I've been making lots of different polar bears this winter in different ways, and this one so far I think is my favorite because it's kind of sitting off the page. It's kind of three-dimensional, and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to need 3 pieces of paper for this. The background, the middle, and the front arms and the head will be on 1. So I'm going to set him to the side, and we're going to get started. On your first piece of paper, you're going to put it in portrait mode, up and down this way, not horizontally. And we're going to draw a horizontal line right across the bottom of the page. And we're going to leave this part down here white, but we're going to add some color up here to the top. And you can do this with any art supply that you have available. I'm going to be showing you with the crayon resist watercolor technique. I have a white crayon here, and I'm going to start drawing X's and crosses and polka dots all over my page. And this is going to be my snowflakes. If you don't have watercolor, you can do this with a blue crayon and make your snowflakes blue. So a bunch of X's, a bunch of polka dots, X's and polka dots and crisscrosses. I'm going to add water to my page because I'm going to do a wet on wet technique. And this is adding water to the surface of the paper. But if you're using crayons or markers to do this, you can color your sky however you want. Maybe you want a sunrise sky. Maybe you want it to be oranges and reds and yellows to look like the sun is going down. You can color your sky however you want. Maybe you're going to put some clouds in the sky. That's up to you. So as I start adding my paint to my page, you're going to see my X's and my polka dots start to pop out where the crayon is at. And that's that watercolor resist, the crayon resist we were talking about. So I'm going to spread this paint out as quick as I can. I'm going to try to keep my paint very light in color because I want it to look like a soft blue sky. And the further I work along, you can see my X's and my polka dots starting to stand out. Okay, coloring in your sky. I think I'm going to even add a little purple up here to mine. A little bit more water to thin it out a little bit. A nice, soft, pretty sky, any way you want it. Now that I have my sky done, I'm going to start creating my bear. And I'm going to switch to my other piece of paper now. And this I'm going to set to the side. I'm going to set my sky and my snow piece of paper to the side. On my second sheet of paper, I'm going to start drawing the back end of the bear. And we're going to do this. You can do this with a pencil first if you want and trace over it with a black crayon or marker later. I'm going to start by drawing kind of a U shape, a really big U shape. And it's going to take up most of my paper. So there's my upside down U. I'm going to bring mine down a little bit farther, almost to the bottom. And I'm going to add 2 lines coming in. And then another U shape, just like that, okay? And I'm even going to kind of go over these lines, making them a little bit thicker. These are the bear's back legs. Just cleaning mine up a little bit, making the lines a little thicker, okay? I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 quick little vertical lines. And all over this double upside down U shape that I connected down here, I'm going to do dashes. Lots of quick dashes, as many as you want. This is your project if you want to add as a lot. And by doing this, we are adding the look, the texture of his fur. So just by adding quick dashed lines, we are kind of making it look like he is furry and hairy. Now I'm making a polar bear because I am, after all, obsessed with polar bears this winter. But if you wanted to turn your bear into a grizzly bear or a black bear or a brown bear, you could color him now whatever color you wanted this part, okay? Adding our texture with quick dash lines, okay? Once this is done, we're going to take our last sheet of paper and I'm going to leave at the top, I want to leave about the width of my hand. I want to leave this space right here. So I'm going to put a tiny little dot right there so I know not to draw above that line because I want to save that top part of my paper for the bear's head. And here I'm going to do another upside down U. Okay. Some lines at the bottom for his front paws. And another upside down U connecting them. And if I put it like this, it kind of looks like a bubble letter C for Mrs. Carmichael. Pencil is always a good choice if you're worried about making a mistake. You can trace it with pencil, draw it with pencil first, and then trace over it. It'll be the same thing, 3 quick little toe lines on his paws, and adding the texture of the fur with quick dashed dotted lines. I know I'm working fast. If at any time I'm going too fast, pause and catch up, okay? Up here in this area that we left some space for, we are going to almost to the top, leaving just a tiny little space. We're going to draw a circle. If you want to trace something, if you have a circle like a cup or a piece of tape, I have a tape roll. You can maybe even put that down and trace it. You could use something like that too to help you. And then off to the side, semicircles on each side. Trying to keep them the same size, but if they're a little different, that's okay. And then on the inside, 2 more semicircles that will color in black. And inside, we're going to draw another circle. Mine's a little off-centered. It makes him look like he's looking to the side a little bit, and that's okay. Followed by a triangle that points down. We color that triangle in. A tiny vertical line, followed by a small curved line for his little bear smile. We'll give him 2 beady little tiny eyes and texture, his furry face, his furry texture. Again, if your bear is going to be something other than a polar bear, if it's going to be a brown bear or a black bear, this is when you can color it in with a crayon, or if you have watercolor, you could paint it. I'm going to leave mine plain because I am going to make a polar bear. Grab a pair of scissors and we are going to bubble cut. Bubble cut means we're not going to stay on the line, but we're actually going to go around the line, leaving a little bit of white. You see this here? I left a little bit of white showing. I don't want to cut my drawing, so I'm going to leave the black line alone. I don't want to cut any of my drawing that I drew. And if I start to cut on the black line, I might accidentally make my line go away. bubble cutting, going around my work. We're going to cut out the head, we're going to cut out the back legs, and here I've got the front legs. So I'm going to keep cutting, you keep cutting, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. All this scratch paper that is falling off, we're not going to throw it away just yet because we're going to use it to separate our bare parts and give a little bit of a lift off our page. So don't throw it away just yet, just kind of push it to the side. I've got one more piece to cut out here, his big bare booty. Bubble cutting. All right, so with some of this scrap paper here, like this piece in the middle, I'll cut a chunk out and I can cut it in half. I'm going to need only 2 pieces, and I'm going to fold them and fold them and fold them just like this to give a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a square rectangle that I'm going to glue in between my pieces. So I'm just going to roll it, roll it and fold it. And you can make it as thick or thin as you want. That's up to you, okay? So I'll just set those there for now. Now it's time to put together our bear. So they're going to need paper glue for this. I'm going to use glue because that's what I have in front of me. And the first thing that we need to do is put our bear on his beautiful background that we did. So what I'm going to do is add just a couple drops of glue. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not making a big stream of glue. I'm just going around the outside with a couple drops of glue. We don't need a lot of glue. Too much glue makes our paper wrinkly and messy. Okay, so I'm going to lay him right here in the center and give it a little rub. Make sure that all those little glue dots get spread out. And just with that tiny amount of glue, that's all I need to keep this on my page. Okay? Then I'm going to glue one of my cardboard pieces or my folded paper pieces down onto my page. So I'll put 1 dot of glue, and if you don't want your fold, you can put another piece, another drop of glue in between the fold, and I'm going to hold. Just hold it for a few seconds here because we want to have time to soak into the paper and really stick, okay? Once that's stuck down and not lifting up, you can add 1 dab of glue. I will place his front legs right over the top. And you can adjust this any way you want. 1 more dab of glue there. I'm going to put a piece of glue inside my fold because I don't want it to stick up too much. Hold it for a few seconds. And last but not least, we're going to add the head on here, just like that. And I'll hold him down. This gives you a really cute perspective on a bear that's different. It makes him more 3-dimensional, like he's coming off the page. And I've even created a shadow by doing this that I didn't have to color. I love this project. You could do this with any animal. You could try it with a cat or a dog. Be creative. You can do these U shapes and add the different details that you want to make your own animal.